Support for this podcast comes from the patrons at patreon.com/FMLFPL.
Okay! Look at everybody on the lawn!
This Walsh.
What's happening, brother?
It's another day, another dollar.
Another day, another dollar. Another pile up. Another no days off. 1 day off.
Yeah.
Oh man. I mean, we're podding Sunday night. We have another pod Wednesday night because there's another pile up, no days off situation. Game week 24, FML Cup is kicking off. Which is really
FML FPL Cups, but FML FPL Change Name Cup is back.
Yeah, change name FPL Towers Cup back. It's really, it's the second half of the season when that's kicking off, so we'll have to do, the sign up shit that we always do, big group stage, big, rally behind that. So that's always a fun time.
Yeah, and for new people that listen, we this is a thing we do every year. It's just like a tournament style thing with group stages, and then it goes to knockouts with just every one of our Patreons. So if you support us or want to check us out, and it's pretty straightforward. You just give us your team ID, and we do everything. We do the rest.
Yeah,
and it's just a fun thing. There's prizes and stuff for like highest scoring group and final 8, like top 8 get prizes and shit, and then the winner gets the things, and there's like little nonsense like that, so it's fun.
It's just
gives
fun.
us something to talk about, and Discord's always very lively during this time.
Which
so if
also, I just remembered for the first time, we're gonna do like Discord only groups or something like that, right? Didn't we talk about that last season?
Yeah, we're gonna segregate because everyone's not equal of FMLFPL patrons.
Exactly.
So if you're in Discord, you're gonna be in Discord groups,
which is great. The shit talking,
if you're a
$2,
if you're a $2 pod subscriber, you're going to be with other $2 pod subscribers.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly.
If you find yourself like socially not, having the same friend groups, I don't know if anything's going on in the world that might attribute to that, and you want to just make some new friends, it's a really good place. You just hang and chill.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just check us out.
Fucking check us out. Should we just get out of here? Honestly, should we get out of here?
End. Yeah, let's end.
Check us
Good, great pod.
Can we do a short pod? Can we just get in there? We're podding too much.
I don't care, dude. Just talk to me. What do you want to talk about?
Well, so how'd you do this week?
Bad. I got 50 points. I had Mo, Cap. I got a red arrow and I cap a brace is the explanation of my week. I took a -8, but it was actually a covert like -30, I think. So that was not great. If I did nothing, I would have had like 80 points or something. And I just got Diash clean and Mo cap, and that's it. Literal, that's it. Everything else was a blank central. Didn't get 11 out, 10 men this week for me.
That's probably
so. That's the state of the union.
Yeah.
That's the state of the union for me, my boys. Trent, the 85th minute goal with the Trent Robbo first experience of the Trent Robbo was a absolute backbreaker because
and Cap Mo.
Cap Mo, great. Good
even the clean even hurt there.
The two there. It was at about 11 points for me. That goal lost. Yeah. So it had very Josh Benson feels for me there. The thing that is so troublesome is. It feels so much worse when they're just in absolute dominating cruise control the whole fucking game, and it's clearly gone, and there's like no point, no one cares anymore, and it's just like 86 minute or whatever, you know. So
they had one big chance, and that was it.
Yeah, that's the game. Ox, thank you, Ox. That's it. That's it for me. What about you?
Cap Mo really bailed you out though. You were in fucking
dude. I had when I woke up this morning, I had like 9 points.
Yeah.
This morning.
Well, we were texting and I was like, how bad is it? And you were like, Bamford has more than my entire team combined, who you hit out, and I also hit out. And I was like, oh, okay, so it's looking pretty bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
That's pretty bad, I would say.
Okay.
I got 61 -4, so 57. I don't even know if it's green, gray. Yeah, it's a little green.
You rose a little.
Yeah, tiny little green. I got some contributors from all over. Obviously, as I mentioned, I also hit out Bamford, so that was a disaster. But I got.
Can we just mention that for a second?
Yeah, I mean,
like if you listen to this fucking podcast, and we sell anyone, you need to pay attention to who those players are because they're going to start going hot. If we hit someone out, double your money.
Yeah, double
if
down.
If me and you both hit someone out in the same week,
oh my god, triple cap.
That's it.
That's triple cap.
Triple cap. That's a triple cap.
That's like
insane.
Bet your mortgage situation. Like just covert, fly to Vegas, put your mortgage down. You're good to go.
It's so horrible.
Yeah.
All right, keep going.
I mean, so that wasn't great. I took the risk on the double Everton. They started off the game week with the blanks, but Cap Jack did stuff. I still have Mo, Diaz, Emmy, huge 10-pointer for me. Absolutely,
that was really big,
massive 10-pointer, which was like pretty lucky.
I find myself, Emmy is the player. Like the clean for Villa, I find myself every single week rooting the hardest against of any outcome in any game. It's like that's the thing I've been noticing, which doesn't feel great.
Like people who don't own Emmy or Pope, I don't even know who they have. What other keepers are in the game?
People still probably own like McCarthy.
People have like McCarthy, John Stone, like
Lloris. People have, I think.
Jesus
I don't know.
Christ, yeah. Emmy has bailed me out many times this season, so that was great. But yeah, I mean. Quiet, weird week, but I'm happy to get away with it with a green on a hit. So, fun today.
Yeah. Okay.
Shout out to the top 3 FML Field Prize League Mug League winners for January. Colin Capone, a.k.a. Hal Capone. Neil Gupta, a.k.a. Payne Olympics. And Alec Newton, a.k.a. Finding Timo. I'll email you guys for the mugs, the prizes. Good job by you.
Did you reset for next week?
I didn't reset. Should I do it right now?
I forget.
Well, because I'm going to forget. I'm just going to actually do it right now. This is going to be this kind of pod. That's a fact.
I'm really, really tired.
I'm fucking destroyed.
It's 7:15. I'm probably going to go to bed when we finish potting at 8:30
I mean, dude,
or whatever.
The hours where I live.
Oh, my God.
And then I wake up at 7 a.m. to watch football for like 8 hours today and then don't nap. It's not great. Okay. All right, I updated the league. Shout out to the leader of the Oh, there's a new name. There's a new name. Shout out to the leader of the FPL Towers' favorite pod league, formerly known as the FML Public League, formerly known as changed name.
Yes. FML Public League.
Ryan Prinz, a.k.a. Nabry 4, Spurs 2.
I don't know what that means, but
when Nabry scored 4 against
the game. Yeah. Fine.
Okay. Pod's over. All right, what do you want to talk about? There's fucking the game week starts so soon. Where do you want to begin? Anything you want to talk about?
There's actually, I think there's like a lot of things to talk about. Unfortunately for us,
let's start. Hit me.
Okay. Well, Spurs didn't function, and Leicester didn't function. So, when you lose your best player, or two best players, and the team doesn't function, that's bad for FPL. That's one thing I noticed today.
There is a weird thing where when a player goes out, we always get questions, and I always see it on Twitter, is blah 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 better without blah blah blah? The answer is almost always no.
Always. The only difference with when it's not no is when a player goes from playing like midfield to forward.
Exactly.
Other than that,
change of position or change of tactics, which we usually can't even anticipate.
Or change name.
The small. We always say FPL is just all a small sample size, but it's even smaller when it's like Son played 4 games without Kane last year and scored 3 goals. It's like, dude, that could not matter less to what Spurs are going to look like without Kane. Basically,
it could matter, but you need the context. Like you need more information than just that. Because if you say this is. I think he's going to still be good because these are the reasons why, and this is why I'm expecting it to be replicated. But
it could be an interesting conversation, but it's it's so
You have to look deeper.
You have to look deeper and you have to think deeper. I mean, people are pulling shit from like 5 years ago when Sun started without Kane. It's like, dude, who was even managing them 5 years ago? Like, they have a completely different manager. They have a completely different team, different
AVB.
Style, different everything. Yeah, it was AV fucking B. Like, dude, it's fucking Sherwood.
Yeah.
But it's like,
okay.
yeah.
So that aside, though, let's refocus. So Spurs and Leicester assets, right? I mean, Barnes is, I guess, like in one of those kind of. First of all, good job by fucking the Barrage for not playing Iheanacho. They're way better than they would be looking if that was still happening. But
also,
I think,
I wouldn't say they didn't function. Like
they functioned for like 20 minutes, and then they just got absolutely bare bottom.
Yeah, the second half Leeds were way better and shut them down.
I mean,
but first half they created a lot of chances. They could have scored 2 goals. Like their goal was a real goal.
The goal was nice, yeah.
Yeah, and that XG was good. They had 18 shots.
He used 3 subs on defenders.
Well, that's whatever.
Braj. I don't know. But this is the thing: is Vardy's out of the team there, and everyone's like all hands on deck, lose identity, shape changes. Like it's just madhouse. And they played Leeds. They scored one against Leeds.
It's the best fixture in the league.
Yeah, so it's just something to consider. I think Barnes is still the one, though, right? Where he was, doing the things and he could still be okay. But otherwise, it's just like, wow, they're a little bit like fucked up. And Spurs were insane today. Holy shit.
Spurs are that's like another level. Because
that's like a half an hour pod. I don't even want to talk about it really too much, but...
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch the full game, so you know more than me. But just to put it in perspective, the highlights were basically pot shots from like 25 yards for Spurs, and then Brighton creating just huge chances. That was
Brighton
the entire highlights.
4 or 5. I mean, if it wasn't Brighton,
exactly.
4. Brighton were Brightening so fucking hard. I was half expecting them to equalize though, like in the 85th, because it's just like that's a Brighton thing.
Just so Brighton, it would just be
and
so fucking
Spurs.
Brighton. Yeah, just rode on like near post header on a corner or some shit. But I mean,
Son though is still, I'm still like not really too worried because
really, I'd be very worried. I think Son is like a bad own without Kane.
Yeah, I don't think transferring him out is really going to be like successful. Like what am I doing with that? Like where am I going with that?
I don't know.
He's still like the central danger like player or whatever, and he's still really good. And they didn't look good in one game, but I don't know. They have West Brom in a couple, and I mean Kane's not going to be out for that long. So like I'm going to want him back,
Maybe. I don't know. They're such an interesting FPL team because if they didn't start the season on the most ridiculous fire of all time, I wonder where we would all be at on them. Like they struggle to score a goal a game for like 3 months.
But I'm also like thinking about with Son. He still has also more avenues probably on pens too now, right? So probably. I mean he's still doing the well, yeah, whatever. He's still doing the corners and the indirect set pieces and stuff. And I mean, even though it's a bad showing, I'm just like, I'm not trying to. I mean, I don't like need money in my team. I'm gonna want him back. He always just ticks along. I just feel like he's still gonna be a good pick, and he just I still feel like he's fine.
Yeah.
So I'm not overreacting.
I guess it depends on team state. If you're not like making any other moves, I'd be happy to get rid of him right now. I'd have no hesitation at all. I mean, like, Potter just basically gave the blueprint of, like, if you deny Son space on the counter, it's game over. Spurs have no other idea what to do. Mourinho has no other plan of what to do other than try and play Son through on the counter.
I just feel like it's a little bit of an overreaction. I don't know. I just still feel like no matter what's going on at Spurs, like Son's still just a really good fucking player, and he's going to still get points.
Question, but
I just still think he's going to get points. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Even though the team I don't expect they're going to look good or hum or at any moment in time with Kane out. I still just feel like the plan is like get him the ball, get him like that's the fucking thing. So
2 out of the next 3 are home Chelsea, away City, and then the other one is obviously home West Brom's incredible. Like, what do you actually expect in those 3 fixtures? Like Kane's supposed to miss returns. At least the next 2.
Yeah, 1, maybe 2 returns. I mean, it's going to be hopefully lumping on West Brom, but
Right.
I think home Chelsea is always, you don't know what to expect there. Again, the avenues, you never know when a corner is just a goal. Like, and then you're like, oh, great. It's like,
For sure.
Whatever.
Yeah. I just think
I just don't want to go in and out there.
If you're thinking 1, maybe 2 returns, I feel like that's not a bad transfer. Like, yeah, I haven't looked because I don't have Son and I am fucking on negative hours of sleep, etc. But there's got to be someone that you're like, oh, these next 3 fixtures are really good, and like, oh, maybe they can get 3 or 4 returns, and then it's worth it.
Yeah, I just don't usually do that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
Me, like the way I play.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I still think like I'm more concerned about Rashford in my team because I watch Rashford every fucking week look like absolute dog shit.
He had that wide open net.
It's whatever. And then I watch Son every game and I'm like, Son's same. Like every game is like, he's great. He's doing the same shit. Like
except
it's just
today.
No, but he was fine. Like he was still like making the runs. They were trying to play it long to him. Like he set up a couple of like things, a couple half chances. He was just like trying to find the ball and stuff. But I thought he played like acceptably. Yeah. I didn't think he was the reason why they didn't function. I mean, we've been we haven't done too much about Spurs, but
that's like the weird thing about the guys who get the big chances though, right? It's like Son did what he did today. He basically had nothing. He had no actual chances to score, and he didn't create any actual remotely good chances for his teammates to score. That like feels more okay because we didn't see him fuck up. You know what I mean? Than if like someone like I'm not even advocating for Rashford. I'm just talking about these 2 players just because they're so different in that way. Whereas like we see Rashford like take 5,000 touches when he could have maybe hit it first time in a wide open net. And that feels so much worse. But like from an FPL perspective, you'd rather the guy getting the touches 6 yards from goal with the open net than the guy who like actually does nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, somewhat.
It's like a weird backwards thing, but
well, it comes back to the like opportunity versus like the clinicality or whatever it is.
Clinicality.
But I still feel I think
clinicality. I love that.
That's definitely made up. But
it's beautiful.
I mean, I think Son had like 1 shot from distance or whatever. But I don't know what the stat numbers on him today show, but he was still in and around like every single thing. So
yeah.
Whatever that's worth. But the other thing with Spurs, and this is not really FPL relevant, but Bergwijn. He's just not good enough. I think he's bad. Like I think there's a reason why he went in January, and no one was like
for not that much money, and even though he's 22 or whatever.
It's they're with 10. I mean they play with 10 men. He can't do anything.
Less than 10 with Bale.
Yeah, it's just
they literally
Bale was also a ghost ship today.
It's
and
like
then
even
Lukash
with
came on
Kane,
and was trying to.
They had nothing on the right wing, with Kane. And now he was playing 2 spots.
Yeah, it's 2 spots. And he was playing with fucking Ndombele. It was so deep. I don't know why. He's the only player that can create anything. He had him playing like center back. And Lukash came on. He also looks like a fucking... He's just... I don't know. He's also... That's my concern, though, with them, is that the surround... Like, Lamela looked like... I don't know. He was doing normal Lamela shit, but... Vinicius was actually pretty decent for the second half. I thought he looked like had some moments. He was live. He's like direct. Like, I think he looks like he could be a player. I think they might have something with him. But the Bergwijn thing is a really big problem. He keeps playing him. I don't understand how he keeps playing him because he's definitely worse than Lukash. And I mean, Lukash doesn't do shit. Like he fucking sucks.
I feel like he's worse than fucking at least 5 players on the team. Like play Aurier at right wing.
All he can do is run in a straight line.
Absolutely be more effective. There's like almost
play fucking Winks there. I don't give a shit. Like all he can do is run in a straight line. He's so bad. Yeah. It's every game he starts. It's just he goes to the wrong space. It's like his press is fucking stupid and bad, and he's just such a nightmare.
30 touches today, like.
Yeah, Bale didn't know what was happening. Yeah, he looks like a player who's only started 1 game this season.
Yeah,
So
for a reason.
this was the second. Yeah. All right, that's enough about Spurs, but I still feel like Son's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to
you're
revisit
more
that
fine.
when we go talk about your team. Honestly,
You're more fine selling.
yeah, I'm excited.
This is, but the other thing too with Son is like there are players in the like he's like kind of like Mo in my head is like players that I actually enjoy and like watching and think they're really good. Mm-hmm. And when I get them in my team, I don't like I'm not concerned about them like when they're fit. Like I just don't really think about it as a transfer out. That's where I go there. You know?
No, I see where you're coming from. I just feel like in this instance, you're too player focused and not focused enough on the fact that like Mourinho's doing a bad job and they can't attack.
Yeah, that's possible.
And the team is just like we were just talking about. The team doesn't function. They basically play with 9 men. And
no, that's valid. That's fair. Might have blinders there.
But let's go to Chelsea because we actually got some Chelsea questions. Puck Gremlin says, so Chelsea, what do I do with Chilwell? Do I hold him? Do I ship him out and wait for the dust to settle? How do we handle own Chelsea assets while the 11's under construction? Up your arsenal. And Jerry asked about Marcus A. And Jerry said, or in fact, any of the new Chelsea players Tuchel's picked from his 2 games in charge. How many games is enough for us to be confident that he's going to keep starting them? So I thought they looked really good today, actually. And
hey, look, I think it was the best. I had missed the first like half hour. It was the best I've seen Chelsea play all year by a lot.
Yeah, they had some good games on Frank. Like I'm thinking of the Leeds game. I remember they completely fucking annihilated them and shit. But like
Leeds is it doesn't matter. Like that's like them doing the same thing. But the reason why I feel this way is that Burnley were stretched out of position all over the fuck the whole game. Like everyone was all over the place, and that's like the most organized team in the league.
And how many shots did Burnley have?
All over the place.
Did you see that?
I mean, they had the Tarko at the end.
Actual
they had
one. 93rd minute Tarko.
Yeah. And which should have been. I cannot believe he didn't score that. Did you see that? Did you see the fucking James?
Yeah, that's a different story.
Ridiculous, but they were pulling Burnley absolutely all over the fucking place the whole game. It was insane. Yeah. And yeah, they're going to be good. Like you see already in 2 games, he's just
crazy already.
Yeah, it's insane. So
I know club legend, blah 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 blah. Like fuck off. Like they're already better. It's been fucking 3 days.
Yeah, it's ridiculous to compare like an actual, world-class manager with someone who's never really managed before. But I mean, Mendy's made 0 saves in the last 2 games, 2 clean sheets. It's still though the attack. You can't buy anyone. Like what the fuck are you going to buy?
That's the thing.
You have no fucking clue,
including Marcos A. Like that's a ridiculous shot.
That was a funny. I think that was.
I
just
love him.
Of course.
If he was nailed wingback, we would all have him. But yeah, I mean, I think it's still Chilwell's still first choice. He's figuring out the guys.
Yeah, I think if anything, it would be Tilv, honestly.
What about Rudiger?
4-5. I still.
That's what I thought of when
4-5.
in Jerry's question, because to me, that's the only part of the pitch where he picked the same guys, right? As Rudiger, Tilv, Asville, Mendy, and I think they've looked really good.
Yeah,
like
Rudiger up a shot on target in 2 games.
Like I didn't think Rudiger could play like a left-sided center back, expansive passing kind of position.
I didn't realize he was 4 or 5.
Yeah, so that's
great pick.
That's a good.
That's
pick.
That's worth a spec.
Yeah,
that's absolutely fucking great pick.
Yeah, he just seems like a great, and we know he's a monster on corners too.
Yeah, he's definitely a good goal threat.
Yeah, so that I like.
Yeah, I'm still just. With Zuma there, he really didn't do anything to deserve all of a sudden being bombed the fuck out when he's scoring a goal every other game. And their defense was,
it was good
pretty
for a
competent.
while.
It was, so I'm still a little bit concerned. But if you're, I think the Rudiger, that's a good shot by you. Good job by you. I totally didn't know. Yeah.
And honestly, like I'm proud of myself that I didn't take an extra hit to get rid of Pulisic. I'm not gonna condone people to like go buy him, blah 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 blah. But comes on. I mean, looks great. Gets some assists.
Okay, but that's lunacy. What are you talking about? He didn't start. Like that's just the result. That's the result base though. So you're happy to hold him that he didn't start both games so far after he rotated like 6 players in attack.
He's definitely going to be a starter in the long term. Like Tuchel knows who he is. No, like probably Spurs. I mean, I feel like a lot of this experimentation is like, okay, we have one hard game coming up in Spurs. Like, let me figure out who's good to go.
Okay, I don't know.
Yeah, I think Pulisic is like basically nailed for Spurs. Honestly,
that's insane to say that. He literally didn't start both games, so
I know.
You can't use the word nailed. You know, you think he might start. That's fine, but.
Yeah, I said basically. It's just because I don't have the vocab. What's right underneath nailed? Like, basically nailed is what I said. And, yeah, I mean, Tuchel said, like, he put him on the bench because he knows what he can do. He needs to evaluate the other players, blah, blah, blah.
Okay,
like, he's
this
essential.
Is propaganda. This is propaganda from a Pulisic owner. This is ridiculous. I can't condone this. Let's move on to a different topic.
Great player.
He's great, but to say when he makes all these changes in attack and he's clearly trying to figure out what the right formation, let alone personnel is, and that he's like it's ridiculous. But you own him, and if you're going to hold him and you see what's going to happen, that's fine.
Yeah.
If he came off the bench and scored 1 point, which that's really what he should have done, then I don't know what you'd be saying today.
What do you mean should have done? He came on.
He made
his
fucking side pass
and.
Assist. I mean, if he got 1 point, no, it's fine. He played a half and he got an assist. But if he got a point, if he
got a point, I would still think he's nailed for Spurs.
Oh my! Well, what did you think after Wolves after he played fucking 14 minutes?
I think that Tuchel's being honest when he said, "I know what he could bring. I needed to evaluate the other players." He was a main guy for him in Dortmund. He's obviously like their best player right now with the form that Timo's in and stuff, like he's incredible.
Okay.
I'm just not worried about it.
Okay.
I'm just proud that I didn't take another -4 for some other shitty ass midfielder like Gundo or something.
Okay. I have nothing more to say on this topic.
So many crickets.
It's insane what you're saying.
It's not insane.
Yeah, I think it is.
Anyway, where do you want to go from there? That killed the momentum.
Well, I mean, Everton fucking got
that was
destroyed.
A good game. Good double up DCL Richarlison.
I mean, they have Leeds, regardless of what happens against Leeds. I mean, is this something like, most people got DCL only? Mm-hmm. Is this something where you're like, okay, they're clearly fucked a little bit? And when they have actual very difficult fixtures after Leeds, it's just like, no matter what happens in that game, just plan to get out?
Definitely with Richarlison. I wrote that in the lineup thing. Like, it's probably Richarlison to Antonio, who has, they have Villa, right? Like, so it was 2 really bad Antonio fixtures, and I was like, yeah, I'll just punt on Richarlison. Probably go to Antonio, maybe back to Bamford even. DCL, I mean, the service, it's the
same game every fucking year. All year we've been saying the same thing with them. There's no different. Insane.
Like, the actual amount of crosses and possession and all that shit was just as much as I had hoped, like this is them dominating Newcastle, blah, blah, blah. And then like every cross was bad and every pass was bad. And so many went out of bounds and so many were just easily headed away and all the corners were bad. And it was just like, fuck. He can't create his own shot, so
no, he can't.
So
for his
he
life.
Didn't,
and no one else did. It was just
had one
the
like
same
meaningless shot that doesn't even really register. I mean, that's all there is to it. They're kind of fucked up. I mean, they've been playing badly for a while, a long while.
They've been grinding results out.
Yeah, a long while. And I just had faith that when the good guys come back, they'll go back to being good like they were early in the season. But
yeah, and I mean, Newcastle did do
click.
something completely different than they did all year. So there definitely was a surprise element for sure for Everton there. So. But yeah, I it's still, you look at him, it's just tough when the team isn't humming because it's the same. He looked fine the whole game. He did his job, or whatever.
It was a very post-restart DCL game, not early this season DCL game. Where it was just like,
but honestly, like even those few games where he's getting those like lucky assists on like winning a pen or whatever, like it's been like this for a long time,
a very long time,
for a couple months, a few months. So, yeah, I definitely think he's not a very good, long-term hold at this point until Everton figure something out a little bit more, you see a little bit more consistency because like you said, I mean, it's similar to like Manchester United. It's just the team hasn't looked good attacking for a long time. This isn't like a blip on the radar.
It's also like, must be said, the tactic of just kill James works. Like as shitty as it is, and I wish it wasn't the case and they were all getting yellow cards from minute one. Like if you just murder their best creator, best passer, well, fucking works.
I mean, I think, yeah, definitely to an extent. But the other thing the more games I watch with like DCL and Rich, they don't complement each other very well.
Like, I feel like they should, though. I mean,
whatever they should, it just doesn't feel to me like they do. Like they don't find each other like Rich does not find DCL very often, and he's like so selfish. I feel like they take each other's space a lot. Like they're both because Rich kind of likes to make striker runs, and then it's like he's not a creator. He just kind of wants to beat someone and shoot or whatever if it's not a counter. And I don't know. That I think has been an issue. I don't think that they've been able to figure it out too well together, because when James is being murdered or doubled or whatever, I mean, then you should be able to, other players should have more opportunity and more space and shit. And I mean, Siggy, I don't know what he is anymore, but I feel like Rich has been like a big problem this year for them. He's been really bad all year.
I didn't think he was bad in that game. I mean, I think he was better than DCL.
Well, I don't agree. I don't think that, because when I watch Rich, I just see like selfishness and not like DCL does his job, and Rich doesn't
bad when you're good. When you're supposed to lead the team in scoring, selfishness isn't a bad thing.
I mean, he has one fucking goal all year from open play. I mean, he needs to, like, I don't know. I don't think he's playing well. I didn't think he played well at all against Newcastle. I thought he was running like blind alley stuff and low percent shot stuff, like shots getting blocked stuff, like just like bad shit. I just feel like his head's off. I didn't think it was that bad, because every other option, every other thing that Everton did was worse. Like, I think he was the only one even getting shots off. Like, he did as good as possible. Just because he wasn't as bad as the other players doesn't mean that he was good. Like, I think they were all bad. But I think Rich has been, for the season, to me watching them, he hasn't had a game where I'm like, oh shit, like Rich. Like, yeah. Really, since maybe like 4 or 5 or so, he had like a couple good games back then. But
I mean, it definitely wasn't ideal. It was the two fixtures, and I thought they would at least score 1 or 2 against Newcastle, who are fucking a joke.
And Dean was definitely defo drunk.
Dean was fucking horrible, dude. Oh my god, I was losing my shit at 7 a.m. watching Dean just cross like 70 yards over everyone's head, and just
Coleman also seemed very bad. Don't know what he was doing.
He's like at least he has like different responsibilities. He tries his like overlapping stuff and like cutbacks and stuff. Dean, it's like Newcastle are like, here you go, silver platter, 30 yards of space, do whatever you want, and he just like sends it to outer space.
Here's a goal kick.
Yeah, how about that idea? And it's just like, oh my god, that was really doing my head in. But they still, like you said, they still have Leeds. I'm still very confident that Leeds is the slump buster of all slump busters. So
yeah,
I'll hope for one more week.
I'm also like, I'm not. I mean, I think maybe, but I'm not like expecting goals from them, because
I am.
Yeah, I'm not. I think it's similar to like the Leicester thing. It's like the Leicester team, just because they get to play Leeds doesn't mean all of a sudden you score 3 goals every game. Like I haven't seen. But
we're talking about a Leicester team without Vardy and Didi, who made defender subs for injuries. Blah blah. They score a goal and put up 1.7 xG in 18 shots.
No, I know, but I'm still saying when you talk about expect, like I don't expect that. I think it's like
I absolutely do.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that I mean, they just played fucking Newcastle at home. It's the same kind of thing. They scored 0 goals, but it's under 1 xG.
But Leeds are just different. I mean, they don't shut anyone down. They don't shut anyone down.
Yeah, I mean, if you own them, and nothing's changing. But I mean, buying, definitely not. Not with the fixtures that are following.
Yeah, buying is a different scenario. 1 week punts are a rare luxury, especially in this season. But I definitely expect goals. I'd be stunned.
Almost as stunned as if they scored 0 at home against Newcastle.
No, not that definitely not as stunned. That I want to make sure that that's clear. Like, not as stunned at all. Leeds are a different level. Like, Leeds have more everything conceded than Newcastle and one less game. More underlying, more actual goals, more everything. And they played a less game than Newcastle, who are fucking Newcastle. Yeah, what else? We got some questions about premiums. Hayden Hunter looking to jump off Raz. Is it safe to hop on the Timo train? That must be some sort of perverse joke. He said, I can't get Mane. I already have Mo and Bruno. Every other premium's dead besides Sons.
Mane looks like such a good pick right now.
Yeah. Well, we shouted him. Every other premium's dead besides Son and Rash, but Matt said, do you buy into the narrative we should captain non-premium players? Didn't seem long ago everyone was saying we should have 4 premium players as they were all scoring the points.
Is that a narrative?
I don't know. And then Kevin, a lot of us seem to have sold our big assets. Kane, Kev, maybe Mo, got Gundo, Antonio, other guys. Where do we spend the money? Blah, blah, blah. If you're on wildcard, strategically, how would you distribute the money? The money thing is like, we've been saying, this is now like the 4th consecutive pod where we've said like the best teams don't spend all the money right now. Like that, you should. Yeah. It's a weird, we have to spend all our money. Like we're fucking trained to spend.
It's like degeneracy or something.
It really is. Like, we have to spend. We have an extra 0.1. Like, ooh, I can get like this guy instead of this guy because I have 0.1. Just
this worse guy who's more expensive instead of this better guy who's cheap.
Yeah, we need to like mentally adjust that is not really that important right now.
Yeah.
So that's that. But yeah, premiums. I don't know. Well, Mo obviously.
Yeah, Mo's always good.
He did the most
otherwise,
stuff. What about Bruno, dude? What's happening with Bruno? Because
they're a mess. But it's still the same thing with the avenues and the things where, he's got he had an assist against Fulham and he almost had a goal game. But yeah, he hasn't looked good for a few, but he just has so many ways to get points. And, normally they get a pen every other game and that seems to have dried up, which is unfortunate. But,
well, as we saw in the Matty Cash game, there's just no pens anymore at all. So.
Yeah. But they did, to be fair, they just faced some really tough defenses, in the last handful of games. They had Wolves were fucked up when that happened, but like they had Leicester, Wolves, Villa, Burnley, Liverpool, Fulham, Sheffield, and
none
Arsenal.
of those are good fixtures.
For a team that has a really bad manager tactically, it's tough to debus a bus and to do when the game's not given to you and the space isn't given to you, then it's hard, and that's what we've been seeing the last handful of games. And he's picking, the wrong lineups and they're out of ideas. They're kind of just doing the crossing, and I think Bruno, watching him play, looks like he's outside of his mind, frustrated and pissed off all game, pretty much every game for the last few. Yeah. And I
can't believe he didn't throw that curler still.
Yeah, that's the same thing, right? With this game, was that curler, like he usually just, when he gets that opportunity, he scores that. Like it was like the Newcastle goal at the end of the game, like that, back in the beginning of the season. He's like the Fulham, like he's still been on a knife's edge. Like he's had a couple of really good opportunities that normally you expect him to bury in the last 5, and he just hasn't done it. So
and the stats I think it's more still good.
Yeah, I think it's more variance, and he's not taking as many corners for whatever that's worth, but depends, and that's a thing. But he's still, to me, just he's just a good player. He's similar to like Mo and Son, where it's just like, okay, he's not going to score every fucking game. He was on pace for 38 returns, when we were in game week 14 or whatever, but that no one's ever done that before, kind of,
Right. Yeah.
So if he's going to return every other, which is really more likely or more more reliable, jumping off to try and chase someone else, just doesn't make any sense to me. And they do have better fixtures coming up. So I think he's just a very steady hold, and
I agree.
Just got to stop captaining him. That's the thing.
I agree. And also the thing that I kept saying about Mo, up until today was like the team is playing differently, his position's differently, his stats are down. Like none of that exists with Bruno. His stats are still good. The team's playing the same way. He's still like the main guy for everything. It's just like sometimes you don't get the assists or don't score the world or don't get the pen.
He almost had an assist as well as the goal against Arsenal. Yeah, he looked fine to me. I mean, there is a bit, with the Paul though. That is a thing.
Yeah,
he definitely
it
is
definitely
a bit less
dented
involved.
His involvement and stuff like that. And
not to the point where I'm like, oh, I got to sell him or anything.
Right.
But
like
Pens,
in a normal
they're not calling
season
Pens anymore in this season.
Yeah, they just don't call Pens.
They just stopped calling Pens.
There hasn't been. I can't remember the last pen. Like I actually can't.
Let me see. There wasn't one this game week, right?
No,
for sure not.
For sure not.
The week before, yeah, I don't know.
It's hard to just look at all the scores and be like,
Barnes had one recently, didn't he?
Oh yeah, against Liverpool, the winner.
Yeah, but that was a couple games ago.
The winner against Liverpool.
No, Pens are so down the last few games.
They're such a fucking mess with the refereeing shit. How they always like swing the pendulum way too far in either direction. They have no middle ground. They have no capability of just being good at their jobs.
Being normal.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, captaining Bruno, that doesn't seem great anymore. I mean, until they're clicking and, if they had they have home Southampton, but there's other better fixtures elsewhere. Yeah. But
it's like defense. I still feel like, it gives you the flexibility to spend up in defense and get the most expensive guy on the team you like, get Dean or whatever, those flair players or whatever who are, maybe 0.5 or $1 million too much than they should be, but
right.
It doesn't fucking matter really. Having the depth as you see, right? We had Cancelo and Stones playing 0 minutes. If you're benching if you're benching Bamford or you're benching Watkins, that's fine. That's good.
Right. Yeah, it's great.
So that's also, you could also do that kind of thing. So there's definitely still things to do.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like that's what Guest had. That's what Alon's brothers team had, the bench Bamford, still cheap. You shouted that out last pod. I love it.
Yeah.
That's good. What else?
I didn't do it. Fucking hell.
Yeah, I didn't do it either. I said to you, I was genuinely worried that he was going to get rested for a game.
Yeah, I don't know how we missed each other with this because I had no concern about that. I was concerned that he and they have been bad.
Well, yeah,
the last 4. That's what we were talking. That's what I was talking about last pod.
The two things go kind of similarly. He's been bad for a while. He's making,
but there's no replacement. He's the main thing of life for them. He started every game this season.
Rodrigo could start one game.
I don't think so. I don't think he did the same job at all.
Defensive errors against Newcastle and it's subbed off on 59. I think it's reasonable to be he might not start 2 days later. Just one game.
I don't think so. That's saying, but would you say the same thing about Vardy? Because I think that's that's the influence and the position he has in that team to me.
If Vardy, it would never happen. It's that's an impossible question.
No, but I'm using that likeness because I think Bamford is that important and that much of first name on the team sheet for Leeds, like a Vardy is or like a Kane is for Spurs. I don't think it's a spot that he considers.
But I think
so. He subbed him off early, and that's the lesson. And then he came back and fucking banged a triple return.
I'm saying that Vardy has never and will never get subbed off early, so they're not the same level. Just by that nature.
That's fine, but you're saying he might not start as though they have someone else who's good, or that's even a question in Bielsa's mind, and I just don't think it is. I don't think that is I don't think that's an option. I think he would have to be hurt.
Yeah. Well, I learned that lesson this time, but yeah, I genuinely thought so because he's been so bad for consecutive games and then ripped off early for the mistakes. And now he has a dead leg, but he's supposed to be fine.
Yeah, he'll probably be fine.
He'll probably be fine. He has himself in fantasy, but he didn't captain himself, he said.
Fucking so moron.
Annoyed.
How do you not captain yourself every game?
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
Yeah. They asked him about the assist and not taking that last shot and instead setting up the tap in. And he's like, yeah, well, I have myself an FPL. Yeah, I don't know.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah, maybe he thought he wasn't going to start.
Yeah, probably.
Anything else? We got a few other questions, but anything else you want to talk about? I don't even remember what happened.
We could do the questions, I guess.
City. I'm just looking through the scores, trying to remember what happened.
Villa were, the 1-0.
They were bad. That was probably the worst they've played in a while.
Yeah.
Southampton
flattering.
just seemed to sort of have their number. The pressing and all that stuff just kind of works against them.
We fucking dismantled Wolves. It was not a competitive game.
Ralph is a good manager. Yeah,
Their
Palace.
team, dude. Their depth is just, their team's so fucking fucked up. Southampton.
Yeah. Well, yeah, let's go to questions because we did get Puck said at Walsh. At what point would you actually consider Eze as an FPL asset? He looks really good.
I would need him. I mean, he played the 10 today a little bit. He was kind of switching a little bit back and forth to the wing, but
what you've wanted, yeah.
Yeah, he played 10, which was nice, but he played, Bats up top. So who the fuck is he supposed to pass to? I need that to, we need to see Mateta come in and be competent because otherwise there's no one to pass to really. And if he plays centrally for a few games and we keep this, kind of 4-2-3-1 thing, then I think that's a reasonable pick. Still going to prefer Wilf. He's done it for longer, and Wilf was unplayable today. He was fucking amazing today.
Further forward,
Yeah, he was a little bit more wingish today, but he hit the bar, and it's like Eze's got like a couple goals, but they're worldies. It's like he has that kind of knack. He had the Chef was a fucking sick goal. He had the direct free sick goal, and then he had the Wolves one. I mean, he's
even
has
the Wolves
snapshots.
one was insanely sick.
Yeah. But he's like, because he's insanely sick. Like he has these snapshot crazy fucking things that no one else sees, and it's just like, holy shit! How did he score?
Stuff he does like with his body to like get the space. Yeah, those little things that are like immeasurable are just like that's the shit that like Kane does, where it's like he's slow and his ankles are broken and blah blah, blah and he still gets a half yard of space to get a shot off.
Yeah.
Just like little positioning stuff.
Unbelievable. Like he is really, really, really good. Like I think probably if there's a conversation like who's the best player in the league that no one talks about, he's like top 3 easily. Like people don't even still know who he is, that he exists in life. He's so fucking good. So I think the answer is next year, like depending on who our manager is because, with Woy, it's like you could just drop of the hat, go back to putting him at a position again.
I'm always scared of that. I'm always scared of just going back to like the all-out defend nightmare football. After one loss, they just go back to that, and it's like, fuck.
Yeah, and if you're like, I want to own him this year at some point, then you have to buy him right now because we play Newcastle, Leeds, Burnley, Brighton, Fulham before it starts getting tougher. And, he did do the 4-2-3 run against Wolves, which was obviously correct. The game was nowhere near close. It was not a 1-0 game. It was not competitive. So, if he does persist with this team in these easy fixtures, well, nothing's easy for us, but in these like easier team fixtures on paper. Fixtures. Yeah, the winnable fixtures. If we're not going to try and nick 1-0s and we're going to just like try and play. Yeah. Then, I think it'd be now, but I would still rather have Wilf just because he's like... Me too. It's Wilf. It's just
he's the main man.
He's the main man.
Yeah,
Eze's so good though, dude. It's really nuts. Like every game watching him, he's just so sick. Yeah, he doesn't lose the ball. He never loses the ball. Making a rare,
really good attacking signing. Like I can't even remember the last guy who was.
Well, it could be the striker who might play in Mateta, in fucking April, hopefully.
My Teta. Yeah,
he literally never loses the ball. He's like soup.
It's great.
Doesn't lose the ball.
It's great. Cardi Corleone and Bodie asking about Pereira on West Brom not being talked about, blah, blah, blah. Good form in a bad team. Is he worth considering? All that stuff. Shout out to Ali, who captained his fucking 13-pointer out of nowhere, which is ridiculous. But the long and the short for me is absolutely not.
No, we don't need to spend time on this, right?
Okay. Yeah, just, thought I'd give them the questions, whatever. Okay. Yeah, the 2 pens against Wolves, like, whatever. But no, West Brom are the fucking worst team in the league by a lot. And then SK, this question, I don't know. He said, we're just over halfway through. Are you setting any overall rank goals for the season?
I don't want to talk about that.
That's kind of how I felt, but it's also kind of a real question.
Yeah, good. You ask your friends.
I don't look that far in advance, to be honest.
I don't care. What the fuck is the point of that?
Yeah, just trying to...
I'm going to do everything different because I say some arbitrary number today in fucking January.
Yeah. No, it's just not our style.
What else we got?
That's it. Question wise.
That's it?
Yeah. Let's go to our teams. So, quick turnaround. What are you looking at? Transfer cap.
Saving. I think it's an easy save for me. Yeah, everything's fine. I'm like really, really not sure about Mo versus Cancelo cap. I'm kind of feeling Cancelo.
I don't understand. I think Mo is like the easiest cap ever, no?
I don't think Brighton is an easy fixture anymore.
No, they're good defensively. They have been they're underlying it.
They've been good
season.
since they dropped Ryan.
All season, their underlines have been like top 5 defense in the league, which they do by possession. It's a little like deceptive.
And I mean, 3 cleans on the bounce. I do feel like this is a kind of like a free hit game for them after they got 3 off Spurs, and Liverpool have swagger. But I don't know. I mean, it's my initial when I saw the fixture, I was like Mo, Brighton, but Burnley. I mean, Wood got hurt. They can't do fucking.
I mean,
shit.
The floor is 6 points.
Yeah, I mean, they just
the
can't
clean is 95% nailed.
Yeah, they can't do shit ass if Wood's out, and the way that Cancelo should have had more than a goal and assist against West Brom.
Right.
Like, he was the best. He was insane. Completely unplayable, and he was playing them just like a. I mean, this is going to be the same fucking game.
Yeah, absolutely.
At Burnley's not going to be different that way. I mean, the players are better in defense, but I'm not sure there. So I'm going to probably leave that till tomorrow night.
The thing with Mo is that, like, is he going to play striker again?
I have no clue. I don't know. I don't.
If he is, I'm captaining him. If he isn't, maybe I'd look at Cancelo or something. I also think that, like...
Wait. What do you mean striker, though? Because, I mean, he was playing a bit more central, but he was still dropping out wide and deep. They were just playing more diags to him, and he was making that central run, but he wasn't playing up top. Like, it wasn't like...
I think he was playing up top, yeah. I mean, you don't go from, like, 1 shot to 7 shots and go from, like, no touches in the box to 1,000,000 touches in the box by, like, fluke. I think it was a diamond behind Divock and Mo. Like, because Shaq was really central. Shaq was like...
So was Divock. Mo was
if Bob
coming
was
in,
false 9, Shaq was, like, just straight up 10. And, occasionally he was wide.
I think it was just both. I think the difference to me today when I was watching them was that they were playing that... Hendo was playing that diag, he was running in behind, and they were actually playing that ball, which they haven't done since, like, last year.
But I don't think he even makes that run as much before this game, like as often as he used to make it, because he plays deeper and wider.
Yeah, and that could have also just been because Mane was out and Bob was out too, right? So I don't know next game what's going to happen. That's what I'm saying.
Like, I think it was because they were out. This was the solution. And I don't know if that means that when they're back, it's like, well, we need Mo up top again, like furthest forward, all the touches in the box, all the shit that I wanted. Like, I've been crying out for all this time. It's like, let's do 4-2-3-1, Mo up top. Like, need touches in the box, need shots in the box.
That's not what they played today to me, though. I didn't think they were in that formation today.
I think they played a diamond behind too. Yeah, I honestly do.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I remember him dropping back. Like, he was still doing some of the same defensive coverage duty that he's always done, like covering Trent and shit. Like,
that's just Liverpool.
I thought I just thought, like, in possession, he was still playing wide on the elbow a lot. Like, he wasn't in the middle of the box. Like, he was there when they were building up. He had more like ability. He had like more license to go centrally. But I thought formationally, like, I don't know. I didn't feel like it was like, oh, he's playing striker. I thought it was still kind of like he's doing sort of the same stuff. He just is making different.
I did. I thought he was like right striker and Divock was left striker, for lack of a better word for it. I mean, like, all of Liverpool like track back and defend, and he's definitely on the right side between the two. But I mean, he was just like in the box so much more and taking actual shots in the box and getting like good actual chances and stuff. All the shit that he hasn't been doing for 2 months.
So are you gonna stick with him and hope that
Well,
It's more the same,
I
or-
have it on him right now. I honestly have like we just said don't cap Bruno. I have like a feeling in the back of my head that Southampton is just the perfect game for United.
Yeah, I don't know what.
No, I'm just saying it's
can't
just like a
comment on that.
total
Sure.
gut. Like,
Well, didn't you do the same thing when they played them in the reverse fixture or something?
they scored 3 goals and Bruno had
Yeah,
a goal
but did
and
you
assist.
captained him or something, or didn't you? I feel like you.
Maybe
Or that was Timo. I feel like whenever a good team plays Southampton, you say this year.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, I capped Jack's 15-pointer against them.
Yeah, you always captain. You love captaining against them.
We've established this very early. They're not Leeds openness, but they're the other team that presses really high and leaves space behind. They're the other like main team who does that. And that's United's strengths. They don't have many strengths, but that's definitely a strength. So I don't know. I have a slight little
I think
feeling
that's
about
insane.
that.
The captain, I would never ever put my captaincy on that, but yeah, I mean maybe they score more than 0 goals. That would be cool.
Imagine that.
And you don't think Cancelo? You're not thinking about that?
No, I'm definitely considering it. I mean,
Okay.
I captained him 2 game weeks ago. I'm all in on that fucking captaining. It's just, yeah. I mean, the thing with him is like the center backs have the high floor also, but less consistent ceiling. And with him, he turns into Kev in the attacking third. So he has the high floor and ceiling.
Yeah.
And
And that's the thing is like, I mean, he scored the goal on the offside's kind of bullshit, but he missed a fucking sitter in the West Brom game.
Right,
like he looks really good.
Yeah, I
don't
like that shot. Yeah, I like that shot. No, it is a weird thing with Brighton, right? Like, it's weird to have a team that's definitely good defensively, but also I like expect them to concede a goal every game.
Yeah, but I don't think it's because it's just it's usually like a weird individual error, like a weird fluky thing. Like they do like a weird deflection, like they do like weird ass shit. I don't know. It's it's definitely hard to describe.
That's why their underlines are so good. Is because they're not conceding big chances in the traditional manner, except against like City, I guess. But yeah, they make errors or, positional, someone doesn't cover for someone or something like that. But I mean, dude, Potter's fucking good manager.
Yeah.
Their talent is so fucking bad.
Dude, that Connolly miss, I actually was laughing out loud.
Unbelievable.
He's so bad. I don't know how he keeps getting time.
At least
they have a lot of players. How does he keep playing? They have at least
half the team that Houghton had when they stayed up by like 1 point.
Yeah.
And he has them like as like a top 5 defense in the league underlying, and like they're safe as fuck, like there's no chance. I don't know. I think he's just doing a great job.
Was fucking unreal today.
Dude, even that late run,
absolutely insane.
That late run where he just outpaced everyone. Like, what? That was the Connolly chance. Like, what was that?
Yeah, he's looking really good. There's a fucking punt. Gross. After Liverpool, he looks so good today.
Yeah, but it's Potter, so he's going to start 1 in 3 matches. That's the dark side of Potter.
Thing about Gross, yeah.
The relegation race.
It's kind of over, actually.
Looking really rough for the usual 3.
It's looking kind of done. Yeah, I think that we're pretty close to calling it.
The problem is Fulham just can't win a game.
Yeah, they just can't.
They can't score goals.
Can't win when you can't score. So what are you doing with your moves? Are you doing anything?
Let me look at my team for the first time.
I mean, you have like fucking 15 deep, 14 deep. I don't know where you can improve on or whatever you're looking at. Since Pulisic
this looks like a good save.
Great player for
he is a great player.
Term. Yeah,
he's a great player for a good team.
So are you just going to bench Saka? Is that your plan?
Well, he's fucking hurt, so definitely.
But in general, is that the plan with the way the team's set up right now? He's your bench guy?
I mean, I would play the fixtures probably. Like Leeds in 24, I'll definitely start Saka somewhere.
And you'll do Rich and DCL next week with 2 frees, depending on how you feel?
I think 100% Rich. But DCL's likely, but not 100%, yeah. But yeah, I might just do both. Like Bamford, Antonio, or something like that. I don't see the downside there.
That seems good.
Or even just like I mean, we're talking about how much money we have in our teams, right? Like, if Saka's back and looks good and he's fit and whatever, like, I could fucking bench DCL and just start one up top. Like we were just talking about benching Bamford.
If there's someone else you'd rather use your transfer on.
Yeah. I mean, money is just such a weird non-issue in FPL this season. So that's in consideration as well. Yeah, I don't know. I'll decide on cap tomorrow too, after I sleep in and think about it all day. It's on Mo as of now, though.
Yeah, I still have it on Mo too, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
not sure.
Yeah. I'm not.
And did you want to try and sell me on selling Son, or do we need to do that, or what do you want to do? What do you have to say?
We'll probably just talk tomorrow and figure it out, right?
Well, I mean, I haven't even for 1 second today considered. I'm looking at Rashford. Like, I fucking hate him, obviously.
Yeah, I would sell Son ahead of Rashford, like so far ahead of him.
Yeah. So what's your pitch to for me to sell him? Like, where would you go if you had my team with Son in it? What would you do?
Well, let's look around, see who has good fixtures, I guess. See for maybe a short term, because it sounded like you really wanted to get him back, but maybe you could get someone else.
I don't even want to sell him, so
yeah.
I mean, I guess it would be like Wilf or Jack. I mean, reasonably speaking.
Yeah. Newcastle, Leeds, Burnley for Wilf. West Ham, Arsenal, Brighton for Jack. Those are not easy fixtures at all. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it probably would be Wilf. Seems good.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't. So why do you think Rashford's better than Son?
Well, his team's better. He gets chances. He shoots. He gets touches in the box. All that kind of stuff.
Doesn't get any points. Doesn't get any fantasy points.
Well, neither does Son. So they're even on that regard, right? They're both expensive and don't get points. So that's the common denominator. And then all of the other stuff favors Rashford, except for the actual ability of the player.
Yeah. I mean, Son has 50 more points than Rashford on the season.
No, but we're talking about
earlier.
Yeah, we're talking about he has a double-digit haul against Leeds and 9-pointer against Liverpool, but since game week 12, the rest is 5-2, 3-2, 5-2-2.
It's better than Rashford.
Is it?
Yeah, Rashford's got...
Since game week 12, he also has one double-digiter.
One double-digit haul.
And a 7, a 7, a 6. It's basically the same.
So they're both horrible?
Well, Rashford's team is better and gets chances. And don't have all of... Like, the equivalent of Kane being injured for United would be if, like, Bruno and Paul were hurt. Then I'd be like, Rashford's bad and they're not going to function. But they're not hurt, so they're still going to get chances.
But Rashford's also a main reason why they're not functioning, because he's fucking horrible. Like, he could easily be dropped. He was dropped two games ago. Like, he's by no means a safe name in that sheet to me.
I think he's safe, yeah. For sure.
He hasn't played... He played well in the FA Cup game, but he hasn't had a good league game since I owned him. I bought him the Leicester game or whatever, the Wolves game. I mean, literally every game he's played bad every game.
He scored in the Wolves game, didn't he?
And that was in like the 93rd minute. He was awful the entire game. We were fucking talking about how bad he was the whole game.
Yeah,
what do you mean? It's like
that's the
he
thing.
Didn't play well. Just he scored in stoppage. And there was like like deflected or something, right? What was that?
Yeah, I don't remember. It was like left-footed thing, I think. Falling over or something. But yeah, I mean, you still want the players getting shots in the box and stuff. It's just the basics, I think.
Okay.
That's really all it is.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do anything this week.
Don't you want Wilf? Don't you want your boy?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I do, but I also don't want to get rid of these guys. Like, if I was getting Wilf, I would want to be doing it for a better reason than just like, I don't think I'm going to just spike points from him when I have a healthy Son and a healthy Rashford, like just because we have easy on paper fixtures. I don't know. We also don't really score goals. I mean, he has problems as well. I'm not doing anything with the money. It's not like making my team better. I think I think
it makes your team better.
Yeah, I don't think it does. That's where I'm at with that.
I'm surprised we're so different on Spurs. Like they're just so absolutely horrible.
They had a bad game. I don't know. I mean,
they've had a bad like 2 months.
Yeah, but I still watch Son. Dude, Son, like the Liverpool game, offsides goal, like armpit crayons, like, okay, you know, the Sheffield United game, he almost scored. Fulham game, he almost scored. No, I know, but this has been one bad game. So I need more than just a bad game against Brighton on short rest, like to think he's a problem. Again, as I said earlier, I thought he looked fine and he played well. And I don't think that just because I don't think that that's a reason to sell the player, like really.
Yeah.
For him, you know, that's just where I'm at with him. And I need more data of them, like really just like, holy shit, they're not going to ever score or something, like, because he still comes close to points like every single game I watch him, and he always has.
All right, I have nothing else to say with him. I think it's bad.
Okay.
That's it. Let me slap asses. We got 2 new sign. I feel like the mood is bad on this pod. The vibe is bad.
I'm really tired.
Yeah, I'm also
really
tired.
We're on different sides of a lot of things tonight.
Basically everything.
Yeah, well, that's hyperbolic, but a lot of more than usual. So it's more testy.
More testy. Let me slap asses. We got 2 new Patreon signups: Jake Winterbottom and Mason Poss. Let's get in there. I mean, we kept it under an hour, right? Or basically an hour. That's pretty good for 2 tired guys.
Yeah.
Any last words?
No, we'll do Sunday. No. Check that.
Wednesday.
We're doing Wednesday. Today's Sunday.
Check us out at FMLfield.com. Follow us on Twitter at FML. Support us, Patreon.com/subscribe, rate, and